So last time we talked about a few verbs and some collocations related to the workplace, like, for example, have a lot of responsibility, work on social hours, sort out people's problems, organize conferences, you know, this kind of thing that people in companies or in corporate positions or maybe managers or head of departments sometimes do. So we talked about that. We also talked about the problem that Gabby had with Fiona, the actress who had the accident. So we talked about that. We talked about reported speech. Brahim, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about that. We also talked about how to form reported speech, what happens to the sentence, what happens to the verb forms, how they change. We talked about that. We also discussed two very important reporting verbs, which are say and tell. And we agreed that we never use an object with say, and we always use an object with tell. So we talked about that. And also that we discussed the relative pronoun that. It's kind of optional. It's really up to the speaker. You can keep it, you can leave it. It's not a problem. We talked about that. What else did we have? The H. Sadiat. Okay. Okay, let me just quickly play this. Here, I just want you to pay attention to the letter H. There is something interesting going on with the letter H. I'll just play it without talking too much about it so you can see what it is. So all I need you to do in number 9 here in this listening part is just pay attention to the letter H. There's something going on with the letter H. Okay, let me find the track, CD3, track 3. Is it CD3, track 3? Track 16.
No, it's track 15.
15 or 16? 16, right?
0.7 ولا?
No, not point. I didn't see 0.7. No, I was talking about I was talking about this question, question 9. But you're right. We didn't check question. Okay. Yeah, it's weak forms, strong forms. I think we can skip number 7. Yeah. Let's skip it. Yeah. No, here number number 8. Okay. Okay. So we still don't have listening yet. Okay. Let's do number 8 first. This is a practice for using reported speech, or, you know, changing these sentences from direct speech to reported speech. All right, so number 1, Mr. Hall, so this is the exact quote. I must talk to Max, and the reporting verb we need to use is say. So all we need to do is just include say in the sentence, and it becomes, Mr. Hall said he had to talk to you. Okay, and of course you should imagine, or we should imagine, that we are Gabby now and we're talking to Max. All right, so Gabby took some messages for Max and now she's giving the messages. Okay, so this is the whole point of the exercise. All right, let's start with number 2. Let's start with Noha here. So I'd like you, Noha or Gabby, I'd like you to report this to Max. Okay.
Okay. Carl said, number 2.
Yes.
A2.
Carl said that he was, Carl, he or she?
Carl is a he, yeah.
Yeah. Carl said that he was going to be in New York next Chintwali.
Good question. Excellent question. No, it changes. How do we change? How do we change tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Yesterday.
No. There's something else.
No.
Not yesterday. Yeah. We studied it. I want you to remember it. Can you remember it, Ibrahim? Would you like to take a quick look at the summary to see what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick look. Where is it? Okay, reported speech. Here it is. Okay. Here it is.
Yeah.
No, not this one. No.
Yes.
Sorry. Here it is. The last tip before the question part. This one. Let me box it. Can you see it?
Following.
Next week, the following week.
Yeah, the following. Yes.
Last week, the week before.
All right. So which page were we? 63.
87.
87. 87. Yes, here it is. All right. Okay, so can you repeat the whole thing from the beginning, please? How can we make number 2 into reported speech? Carl said
that he was going to be in New York in the following week.
Right, that's it. Yeah.
استخدم في الجملة هي tell ولا
the following مش in ما فيش in the following week.
Correct, the following week. Yes, Ibrahim, because here they gave you in each sentence they give you the word they want you to use, the reporting verb.
يعني Carl told me he's going to be in New York the following week.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Did you say?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
All right.
No, wait.
Okay.
Carl, Carl told me.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. If we have tell, we have to say told me. Nice. Okay, number 3. Brahim.
Sid said he doesn't understand your email. Send the email.
What did you do here, Brahim? I think you did the opposite of what we need to do. You changed it to the present, right? I think yeah. You need to push it in the past.
In the past, yeah.
Yeah.
شو اسمه Sid said he didn't understand your email.
Okay. I think you can leave it in some situations. Which situation do we leave the past as it is? No, that's the past perfect. We leave it as it is. But I think with the present, with the past simple, you have to change it, I think.
It will be past perfect.
It's
optional? Is it also optional? Yeah.
Optional. I think so.
I think it is optional.
الجرامر past simple لقيناها في التبس أمس.
But isn't that
the past simple doesn't have to change to the past perfect. It can stay the same. I met him in 2011. She said she had met him in 2011.
But when you say she said she had met him, it's past perfect now. She had met.
It's in brackets.
Optional, yeah. Right. Okay, so it means yeah. Okay, Ibrahim, you have only 2 choices here. You can leave it as it is, just report it with the verb say, or you can push it to the past perfect. This means instead of saying he didn't understand, you will say he hadn't understood. But I think it's easier to leave it as it is. Just report it.
Yeah,
okay?
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you repeat it? Just reporting it. Sid said.
Sid said he didn't understand your email.
All right, that's it. All right, number 4.
Linda Wise said that she She could not come to Monday's meeting.
Right, okay, that's it, yeah. She couldn't come, right. Okay, number 5, Brahim.
Mrs. Lee told me the designs would be ready on Monday.
That's it. The designs would be ready, correct? Right. Okay, number 6, Anna.
Ted Black said that he was having a party on Saturday.
Yeah, that's it. Was having, past continuous. Nice. Number 7, Brahim.
Ted Black said he wanted to
Correct. Go on.
talk to Max about new project.
That's it. Just change want to wanted. Correct, correct. Last one.
Max's ex-wife said, told me that she had sold the house.
Correct. Yeah, she had sold the house.
حتى الpresent perfect يتغير إلى past perfect.
Yes, but here I think it's not optional like the past simple. I think you have to with the. But let's confirm this. Let's see how. I'm interested to see how they do number 3, whether they leave it as it is or they change it, even though both are accepted. And we can also check the last one just to see. Okay, let's listen. So here we are.
Okay.
Track 16.
Sure, will do. But before you go, you had some other messages too.
Who from?
Well, Mr. Hall said he had to talk to you.
Okay, I'll call him later. What's his number?
He only gave me his mobile number. Here it is.
What does he want anyway? I talked to him last week.
Apparently, his wife wants her script back.
Well, send it to her. It was rubbish anyway. What's next?
Carl told me he was going to be in New York next week.
Why is he going to New York? He should be going to LA. That man's an idiot. I'll call him later.
And Sid said he hadn't understood your email. Maybe you should call him back.
Okay, I will. Is that it?
Ah, okay. So it seems that maybe there's a preference to change it to the past perfect. But the rule says it's okay. So I think it's okay.
Not quite.
لا غيرتها.
Oh, yeah.
She did. She.
Track 16.
Let me show you where it changed.
Why is he going to New York?
Yeah. Now the next one is number 3.
He should be going to LA. That man's an idiot. I'll call him later.
And Sid said he hadn't understood your email. Maybe you should call him back.
Yeah.
He hadn't
حتى
understood.
next week ما غيروهاش.
They didn't? They said next week?
Yeah, ما غيروهاش. Yeah.
Yeah.
تقدر تعودها بتتأكد لكن.
Yeah. Let's check it.
غيروهاش.
Track 16.
Sure, will do. But before you go, you had some other messages too.
Who from?
Well, Mr. Hall said he had to talk to you.
Okay, I'll call him later. What's his number?
He only gave me his mobile number. Here it is.
What does he want anyway? I talked to him last week.
Apparently, his wife wants her script back.
Well, send it to her. It was rubbish anyway. What's next?
Carl told me he was going to be in New York next week.
Why is he going to New York? He should be going to LA. That man's an idiot. I'll call him later.
And Sid said he hadn't understood your email. Maybe you should call him back.
Why do you think they used? This is a good point here. Why did they keep next in this example? Why didn't they change it? In your opinion?
The same meaning with the following أصلاً هي.
There is a bit of,
next week نفسها.
There's a small difference, right? Because it's correct, it's the same thing. But here I think with next week, it's next week from the moment of reporting the message. So if the message is fresh, it means you just got it an hour ago, right? And you're reporting it back, just like Gabby is doing. Because remember, in the story, Max was in the meeting, right? So Gabby is just telling him the things he missed maybe an hour ago. So the messages are not old. But imagine if you're reporting a message that's a bit old, like 3 days, 4 days. So when if you say next week is not next week anymore. I think that's it. So it's maybe the following week from the original. But I think it's not. I know. It's just a little. I don't think it's worth thinking too much about it. We can just use next week. I think it's okay. But I think this is the reason. Probably this is the reason. All right. Now number 5. Let's check number 5 now.
Okay, I will. Is that it?
Not quite. Who's next? Oh yes. Linda Wise said she couldn't come to Monday's meeting.
Did she say why?
Yes. She's hurt her back again.
Typical. I told her to see a doctor. She just won't listen.
And Mrs. Lee told me the designs would be ready on Monday.
Well, that's some good news at least.
Yes, I told her you'd be pleased. What's next? Oh, Ted Black said he was having a party on Saturday.
Who on earth is Ted Black?
You know, the film producer. I told him you'd be there.
Oh, no, you know I can't stand him.
He said he wanted to talk to you about a new project.
Fine. Is that all?
And there's, one more.
What's that?
Your ex-wife told me she'd sold the house.
What? Get her on the phone now.
Okay. All right. So our answers are all correct. That's the good news. So we can move on. All right. Now, number 9. Number 9, here's a little pronunciation tip. I just want you to pay attention to the letter H. It's the same recording, the same thing we were just listening to right now. But just focus a little more on the letter H. It says here, listen to the beginning of the conversation. So it's just the beginning. Circle the letter H in bold. If you hear the letter H clearly, circle it. And if you don't hear it clearly, we're going to cross it, okay? So I'm just going to repeat this very first beginning of the conversation. Let's listen.
Track 16.
Sure, will do. But before you go, you had some other messages too.
Who from?
Well, Mr. Hall said he had to talk to you.
Okay, I'll call him later. What's his number?
He only gave me his mobile number. Here it is.
What does he want anyway? I talked to him last week.
Apparently, his wife wants her script back.
Well,
Track 16.
Okay. So what do you think of the letter H here? Which ones did you hear it? Was it clear? And which one wasn't clear?
In the name, Mr. Hall.
Okay. It was clear.
In the pronouns, him, his.
Okay.
his ما كانتش clear عندي أنا.
him ما كانتش clear لكن his سمعتها. him maybe.
Okay.
his سمعتها. his.
إيه.
Yeah. his في المرتين.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe him. حتى here كانت واضحة here.
Here it is, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Here it is, correct.
لكن he, I don't know, maybe.
All right, the general rule here, and I think this is maybe also British English rather than general English. The idea is that if the H comes after a consonant, it's probably a little lighter. It's not very strong. I don't want to say silent, but not as strong as in the beginning of the sentence. Like here it is. Now it's a strong H. It's clear. But if it follows a consonant, for example, like said, Mr. Hall said he had to. So because it's had, said he had to talk. Said he had to. Do you get what happens here? It's not said he had to. Do you get the idea? It's almost like an E here. Said he had to talk to you. Said he had to talk to you. Mr. Hall said he had to talk to you. And I think all of us do it in a kind of automatic way, unless you're speaking slowly with stressed words. But otherwise, there's a bit of call him later. Okay, I'll call him later. I'll call him. It's not I'll call him. sound isn't clear. The same thing here with what's his number. What's his number? What's his number? Here it's strong, of course. He, because there's nothing.
يعني تقدر تقول لما يجي بعد consonant.
That's it. Yeah. But if it's after a vowel or if it's in the beginning, it's kind of strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gave me his. So this one, I think one of you commented that his is strong here. He gave me his mobile phone. Here it is. What does he? What does he? Does he? Again, not very strong. I talked to him. To him. The h sound is strong here. Apparently his. Apparently his. Apparently his. Because you have the Y sound. Apparently his. Or maybe it's not very strong. No, it's strong. Once, sir, not strong. All right. So this is it. That's all. All right, now we can move on, look at the script, listen to Gabby's conversation notes when we don't say. Would you like to take a quick look? Just check it very quickly in the script. Let's take a quick look, very quick look. Do they show it? Yeah, they do actually here. Can you see it in the middle? The strong ones. Yeah, the strong ones are in bold. واللي كانوا خفاف حاطينهم بين قوسين. Do you see? So Mr. All steady. This is sort of soft. Call him soft. What's his number? Soft. He is strong. His is strong. What does he want? Soft. Him is strong. Apparently he. Yeah, this one is also strong. We thought it wasn't, but it is. Once is not strong. Again, vowel strong, vowel strong. All right, so I think the point is clear here. I think we can go back. What page is it? 85, right?
87.
87. All right. Okay, so I think that's all for this lesson. Write 8 sentences about yourself. I think we can skip this one. And then maybe someone else can report this. Let's just do the first row, the first 5, because I think the point is clear. So here, Noha, I'd like you to just think of examples. And then after that, Ibrahim is going to report them to me. So you're going to tell Ibrahim these things, and Ibrahim will report it to me, and then vice versa. Ibrahim will tell you these things, and you'll report them to me, okay?
Okay.
So think of...
I'm quite busy this weekend.
Okay.
Which one are you talking about? Or just a random example you use?
No.
On the top, right.
Gotta use these phrases and your own ideas.
Correct. But which phrase did you use? You used the top, the one on the right. Okay. Okay, so you want to take the ones on the right. Okay, go ahead. No problem. Can you repeat it again? I'm quite busy this weekend, right?
Yeah.
All right. How would you report this, Ibrahim?
She told me she's busy this weekend. صح ولا؟
Change it to the past. But I think it's okay, right?
Yeah, past simple ولا?
No, she said it in the present. I am busy. So you're going to change verb to be to the past. So is becomes in the past.
Was.
Yeah. Can you do it?
She told me she was busy this weekend.
Yes. If we're following the exact rules, correct. Yes. Okay. Now back to you.
I graduated last year.
Okay, Brian.
She said she graduated last year.
Okay, it's okay. You can leave it as it is. But if you had to change it to past perfect.
She graduated.
She had graduated.
She had, Dewa?
Yeah, she told me she had graduated last year, or just keep it like it is. She told me she graduated. Okay, good. Next one now.
I think okay, let's step. I think next year I'm going to visit Spain.
Okay.
She said the following year she will be visiting Spain.
You just change verb to be, put it in the past, that's all. Because she used I'm, so just take the verb to be and change it to the past.
Yeah. والباقي نخليه زي ما هو.
Yes. If you want to leave next year, okay. If you want to use following year, it's okay.
She told me she was.
That's it.
ترى عود الجملة فضلك.
ما نعرف ما كتبتهاش. Next year I'm going to visit Spain.
She told me she was.
Yes.
Going to visit Spain following year.
Yes, the following year. She told me she was going to visit Spain the following year. If you say the next year, it seems that it's okay as well. Right, good examples, good reporting. Now it's your turn, Brian. Use the ones on the left. Choose anything you want to talk about randomly. Something you can do, something you can't do, and she'll report it to me.
لا محمد رسول الله.
Anything you can do, Brian. Don't overthink.
I can watch movies for like 8 hours straight.
Okay.
Okay, Ibrahim said that he could watch a movie 8 hours long. I don't know, 8 hours قلت انت؟
Straight يعني ورا بعض.
Okay, 8 hours straight.
Yeah, okay. Good one. Okay, what do you really like, Brian?
I really like cats, maybe.
All right.
Like what?
Cats.
Cats. Okay. He said that he really liked cats.
Yes, past simple. Yeah, he really liked cats. All right, number 3. Talk about a place you visited before, Brian.
I've been to Germany.
All right.
He told me that he had been to Germany.
That's it. Okay, last example, Brian. Tell us something you've never done or tried before.
I've never smoked.
Okay.
He said he had never smoked.
That's it. He said he never smoked. Good. All right, so that's it. I think you both got the idea clearly how to use reported speech. So we can move on. All right, so in this lesson, we'll have a few new adjectives related to jobs. So you can say this lesson is sort of connected to the previous one. Here, they're going to add questions, requests, and imperatives using reported speech. So it's not just reporting positive sentences, but also questions, requests, and imperatives, how to report that as well. Let's start with adjectives. These adjectives are all related to jobs. So, okay, so let's read them. So, Brian, you can start with the first half, and I can read the second half. And if there's anything new, we'll talk about it.
Demanding, well paid, badly paid, temporary, permanent, full-time, part-time.
All right, okay. And the last
Stressful,
ones?
Stressful, challenging, rewarding, repetitive, lonely, glamorous, dull.
All right. I don't think anything is new here, right?
Demanding or glamorous?
Demanding and glamorous. How would you explain these two, Naha? A demanding job and a glamorous job.
Demanding job when it's required a lot of effort, or demanding. There's a lot of tasking.
Yes.
Taxing, a bit taxing.
Mm-hmm. Correct. That she's right.
Demands a lot of time, a lot of focusing, a lot of يعني متطلب.
متطلبات إيه.
Yeah.
Demanding work يعني زي ما نقولوا أكبر من قدرة يستهلكك يعني.
إيه دوشة إيه.
Yeah.
Okay. And glamorous? How would you explain glamorous, Naha?
Glamorous يعني
in English. Try in English.
Glamorous in English. Glamorous maybe glamorous is something beautiful or honorable or something like this, but related to work. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe work that give you a good position in the society, or when you have a good position, something glamorous. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're kind of right about the last part, especially the last part. Glamorous, there's always a social or appearance aspect to the job. Yeah, in a way. Think of Brian. Think of all the reporters and all the people who work in showbiz, not the actors themselves, but the people who work around them, the journalists, the people who have the interviews. So, for example, let's say you work as a Hollywood interviewer, like the famous NBC host, what's her name? Raya. Do you know Raya from Scoop on NBC?
Yeah.
You can say she has a glamorous job because she works with celebrities. She interviews big stars, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, these people.
Right.
It's a very prestigious job. She can say, look, I meet all these celebrities on a day-to-day basis, especially if there's some kind of festival, Cannes or Venice or something. So she's with them on the red carpet. She talks to them. She's close to them. You get the idea. They know her. She knows them. This is a glamorous job. There's lots of prestige. It's a fancy job. Do you get the idea? This is glamorous. مرموق أو يعني وظيفة فيها prestige اجتماعي معين. This is glamorous. The opposite would be a dull office job, for example. If you work maybe as a tax employee or something like this. Behind the screen, nobody knows about you. You're doing repetitive, boring things. This is kind of the opposite in a way.
Boring.
Yeah, it's like boring, exactly. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about, think of two jobs or one job. We don't have to talk about two, just one. Think of one job you had in the past and think of a few adjectives you would use to describe them. Let's start with Nana here. Can you think of any job you had, even a part-time job, which wasn't a big thing, for example, even maybe as a student or something you had when, if you never had a real job. I don't know about you, but
I've never had a real job.
Okay, but have you had any kind of part-time jobs?
No?
That's kind of cool in a way.
Yeah. School, home, home, school. University, home, home, university.
That's a good plan. I wish I was a woman too.
إيه بالله.
Okay. Well, Brahim, have you had any kind of jobs, even little, even those annoying boy jobs that we get when we are in high school and that kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the jobs you've had, or just one.
I've worked as a mechanic.
Nice. You mean like an actual mechanic in a garage fixing and doing stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, how would you describe that job?
So it was a part-time job. I worked from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. 2 p.m. It was kind of badly paid.
Yeah, that's the problem here in Libya. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Very demanding.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about what they are talking about.
Because all the names of the parts are all in Italian. Radiatori,
Italian
frizioni.
and I don't know what. How, yeah, and I worked when I was when I graduated from the first year in high school. So after the surf, the summer vacation.
Would you describe it as challenging, maybe rewarding, or would you describe it as
stressful? Actually,
stressful?
It was when I come back home, I just eat and go to sleep because it's really I can't believe it.
You were beat.
Yeah, and sometimes the garage it has some boring days. There's no customers, so the garage owner just give me some shkair عارفة, and tells me there's some في تراب برا عبي.
Oh.
So you worked like a manual laborer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little depressing, I think.
Yeah.
We should add the adjective depressing in addition to these adjectives.
It should be.
Yeah. No, right. Okay, but that's a nice. But these jobs are a great experience as for someone young. I think it's a good thing.
Actually, I didn't have anything. Can't even remember anything.
Okay.
Because maybe the owner itself doesn't know anything.
Yeah, that's sometimes true. Yeah, maybe the owner didn't know much about his job.
No, actually, he's really good. But he doesn't know how to
teach. Maybe.
Yeah.
No, I think my last job as a medical representative, if I had to describe it, it was full-time. It was, I don't know if it was well paid. It wasn't badly paid. It was sort of average, but it was dull. It was very dull. And it was too repetitive. It was dull and repetitive. And after about a year, I just quit it. It was too boring. There wasn't a challenge. There wasn't a change of pace. It's just like It should have. I mean, medical representatives. It should be a field job. You work more outside the office. But our company, there was too much emphasis on office time and office work. And for me, that is too dull. I didn't like it very much. The field part was kind of, let's say, in a way, it's glamorous because you meet the big doctors and you get to talk about medical products. There is a bit of a glamour here, and you represent a big company. So on the field, we had a little bit of glamour, but we didn't have enough of it. I think there was too much dullness in the office, so the balance wasn't good, I think. Okay, so you can talk about jobs using some of these adjectives. There are many other adjectives you can use, but these are just some we can use. All right, so we have a few speaking questions here, also related to work. So I think the answer for the first question is very obvious for us Libyans, because they're asking what's the best way. I thought what's the best place. Okay, so this is another question. What's the best way to find a job in your city? So in Libya, let's say someone is looking for a job. Let's say I want a new job, or I'm looking for a job. What would you recommend me to do, or what should I do? What are your recommendations here? Where should I start first?
Maybe
Depends.
Maybe you should use or you should look through some pages.
Yeah, there's actually a website.
Yeah, websites like
Libyan Jobs, I think.
Yeah, Libyan Jobs, and yeah.
Yeah, I also heard about Libyan investment, I think, or there's another one.
Yeah, Libyan investment. Yeah, job opportunities and something like this.
Okay.
Maybe there's a lot of vacancy job there.
Yeah, I think that's a good first step. Okay. And what about job interviews? You mentioned you never had a job, Noha, but did you ever have a job interview? Did you ever, get to a job interview, or no?
I haven't looked after work before.
Okay.
I'm a bit lazy, so.
How's university house?
You didn't try.
You didn't try, yes. Okay.
Yeah. But I know interviews in Libya, it needs some can you go to the mid-person?
You need what?
مش يقولوا له mid-person ولا mild-person ولا حاجة وسيط.
You mean like a middleman,
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. You need someone to help you. I think that's kind of true. Because usually what they do is they have an interview for, let's say, 10 people, but they already really know who they want in most cases. Yeah. It's just, it's just a show. Yeah, that's all. It's just like, just in case the other ones, most of them don't really have a chance. Brian, what about you? Did you had to interview for any jobs? This mechanic job, was there an interview, or did you just start?
No, my father told me I was sleeping, told me, well, tomorrow you have a job, you're going to be a mechanic. Good night.
So shock therapy. No interview.
Yeah, I thought I was dreaming, so yeah, okay.
Okay. I think job interviews are here in Libya, right? I think they're over. They're over. What's the word I'm looking for?
Overqualified.
Not overqualified. I think there's no need for them, to be honest. There's just show, because in most cases, if you know the manager, the job is already yours without job interview. So it doesn't really decide anything. And abroad, yes, job interviews do make a big part of whether you'll get this job or not. And also because there's much higher competition, I think, in the West. There's more desperation for work, right? Because of capitalism and prices, people are more eager to get a job. They don't have as much choices as we have here. For example, like me, just staying in my parents' house.
Usually interviews at big companies, much harder than the work itself.
Yes.
And they do exams.
Yeah.
Like an LTT,
exams
when you...
in short time. Exams in time, يعني في ضغط زمني short time frame. زيادة.
Yeah. For example, LTT, they have a hard exam and then make an interview.
Yeah, they try to narrow the number of
people applying.
Yeah.
True. Yes. Okay. What questions? Let's try to imagine here a little bit. What do you think are the most common questions, or what do you think some of the questions that people are asked in a job interview?
what do you do? What do you know except what you have studied in college?
So they're asking about other skills.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because in the college they had like
Theoretical
they bring some
information.
graduated students and told us what happened in the market when they applied for jobs.
Yeah. So maybe you mean they told you that just having university qualification is not good enough for the market. You need other skills.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one thing they usually ask. You're right about that. They do ask about. They sometimes call this extracurricular activities. They sometimes call them extracurricular. So things other than your curriculum. This is the meaning. Extracurricular. Where is the letter U? Extracurricular activities. So let's say your field is mechanical engineering, right? So they ask you, do you have any hobbies? Can you draw activities? Are you good with languages? Are you particularly good? Maybe you're a good photographer. Maybe you're a good blogger.
Do you know how to use AutoCAD?
Yes, maybe you're good with the AutoCAD. Maybe you're good with Photoshop. So these things are they're quite useful in the job market. All right. Okay. So you can get the flow, I think, of the lesson here. It seems that we're narrowing towards job interviews. At least this is what it looks like in the listening track we have here in part B. It says here, look at the photo. Eva is having an audition. So audition is actually like an interview, but auditions, of course, are usually with showbiz, acting, singing, any kind of performance art. Usually they say, I think, audition more than interview, I think, because they actually. No, audition is the first step of hiring an actor. Yes, but it's not an interview. For an audition, they actually give you the part. So let's say I'm a writer, just like the example we were listening to, Max, the producer, because the producer is usually, and his team are usually responsible for casting the actors. So they have the screen ready, the screenplay, the story itself. After the writers finish the screenplay, they start giving parts to actors and they see how they do them. Prova, يعطون prova يعني. This is the meaning of audition. And they see how they act. If they like the actor or the actress, or maybe they bring them together, and if the chemistry is good, they play the audition well, they tell them, okay, you're good. You can take the part. And usually they have auditions for more than one actor, and then they pick. It's like an interview, exactly like an interview, but with musicians and actors. I think that's the meaning of audition. All right, so let's take a look at Eva here, or Eva. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, so this is Gabby, the PA. This is Max, the producer, and this is Eva. Okay, so she's auditioning. I think she's auditioning for, what's her name? The one who had the accident? Fiona, right? She's taking Fiona's part. Yeah, because Fiona has broken legs. She had an accident, so she's taking her part, it seems. All right, so here we have some questions they're going to ask her. Listen and fill in the gaps. All right. So, okay, no, just take a quick look at these questions. And when you finish them, I'll just play the track, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Right, let's listen.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
We've been watching you for a while, you know. We've got it all. Phone conversations, emails, text messages, bank statements, the lot.
You're joking. You mean you're a cop?
Got it in one, mate. And I hope you like prison food. Because unless you start giving me some names, you're going to be eating it for the next 10 years.
Thank you very much, Eva. That was very good. Thanks, Gabby.
No problem. See you later.
Now, Eva, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Are you working at the moment?
Not at the moment, no.
Do you have any acting work in the next 3 months?
Well, maybe. I've had some auditions for other TV programmes, but I'm still waiting to hear back from them.
And what was your last acting job?
I played a nurse in an episode of Ward 6 recently. You know, the TV hospital soap? I got hit by a car and ended up as a patient in the hospital I worked in. I died at the end of the episode. But it was a very challenging part.
OK, that sounds good. What other parts have you had recently?
Before that, well, I was a school teacher in a film called Flowers in Winter. I had the lead role in that. It was quite a demanding role, but very rewarding too. The film's coming out next month, I think.
Right. And where did you study acting?
I trained at the London School of Drama for 3 years.
Really? That's good. And the last question, are you available to start next week?
Next week? Yes, I think so.
OK, that's about all. Thanks for coming in. We've got your number, haven't we?
Yes, it's on my CV. Or you can call my agent.
Fine. We'll let you know by the end of the day. Have you got any questions?
Yes, I've got a couple actually. Who are the other actors in Undercover?
All right, so let's fill in the gaps here, and we can listen again to check if you need to. So what did he ask her in question number 2? Do you have any acting work in the next
3 months?
Okay. And what about number 3?
What was your last acting job?
Okay. Number 4?
What other parts have you had recently?
Okay.
And where did you study acting? Are you available to start next week?
Okay. I think that's right. Would you like to listen again, or do you think?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think you're right too. Next week. Okay. So very regular, I think, very standard questions, the regular kind of questions. All right. So let's see the second part here. It says Eva is telling her boyfriend Joe about the audition. Read sentences A to F, then listen and put these sentences in order. Okay, so just take a quick look at these sentences now. When you're ready, I'll play the track so you can put them in the right order.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm about to. Just a minute. No. Last acting show. Wanted to know whether. Okay. First one is A, as it's already answered. The second was F. The third is E.
Okay.
The fourth is B.
All right.
Then C and D.
Okay. Let's check this. Let's check it.
So, how did it go?
Oh, quite well, I think. It was quite stressful, though. I had to read from the script, then Max, the producer, interviewed me.
What did he ask you?
First, he asked me if I was working at the moment.
And how did you deal with that?
Well, I couldn't tell him I was a waitress working part-time in a cafe, could I? So I said no. Then he asked what my last acting job had been, so I told him about Ward 6.
That's good. It shows you're a working actress. Well, some of the time, anyway.
Very funny. He also asked if I had any acting work in the next 3 months.
And what did you say?
I told him about the other auditions and said I was very hopeful. That was the best thing to say, don't you think?
Yes, probably.
Oh, and he wanted to know where I'd studied acting.
Uh-huh.
So I told him about the drama school, of course.
Did he ask anything else?
Let me think. Yes, he asked me what other parts I'd had recently.
You told him about Flowers in Winter, I hope.
Of course. Then guess what?
What?
He wanted to know whether I was available to start next week.
Next week? So you've got the part?
No, not exactly. He said he'd let me know by the end of the day. But I have a good feeling about this. I really do.
Well, I really hope you get it. Will you still love me when you're famous?
No, I'll start going out with a good-looking man who's got a well-paid, glamorous job.
Hey!
Okay, at least she's honest.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I think what you did was I think you matched these sentences. I think you matched them with Max's questions, right? Is that what you did? Yeah. Okay. So this means you answered part B because that's what they wanted here in part B. Yeah. In part B, they just want you to match these questions with, of course, because here Eva is just reporting Max's questions to her boyfriend. So in this example, we have reporting questions. All right, so it's clear. We can move on to the grammar focus here. So reported speech, questions, how to report questions. This is the point of today's lesson. So number 4, it says, look at the reported questions in 3A and then choose the correct choose the correct words in these rules. All right, so it says here we use or don't use the auxiliaries do, does, did in reported questions. Let's take a look. What do you think now? Do we use do, the auxiliaries do, does, did, or
No.
we don't use them?
No, we don't use them.
All right. What about, it says here, we use if or whether to report questions with or without a question word. Do we use question words?
No.
Yeah, that's correct. Without, no question words. What about using the object, me, him, with ask? Do we always use it? Do we sometimes use it, or do we never use it? What do you think? From the examples, take a look at the verb ask and take a look at the object.
Ask it me. Ask it what you wanted to know. Ask it me. Ask it if. Ask it me. Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's sometimes, not always. Kind of an optional thing. All right, the last rule says the changes in the verb forms in reported questions are the same or are different from reported sentences. Because in reported sentences, we usually have that little shift to the past. But in questions, do we do the same thing? Or do we also change, or we don't change?
Yeah.
So it's the same in a way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because here, if I was working at the moment, but in his original question, he said, "Are you working at the moment?"
Yeah.
So it's the same idea, basically. There isn't much difference. All right, so until now, I don't think there's anything different really, except for, of course, not using auxiliaries and not using question words. I think this is the only addition. All right, let's move on. Let's see. In part B, it says, look again at the reported questions so we can use them to model this answer. Then fill in the gaps with asked, wanted, whether, question word, subject, and verb. Okay, so we have two kinds of reported questions. We have the yes/no questions, and we have the reported WH questions. So these are the words we want to use to fill in the gaps. So we have asked, we have wanted, whether, we have question word, we have subject, and we have verb. Okay, so let's start with the first gap. So he, something, me, and me is optional, or she, something.
Ask it.
Yes, that's correct.
Ask it, yeah.
All right, so he asked me, or she asked without me. It's up to you. What next do we use?
If.
Whether, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have if here, we have whether.
Okay.
Okay. Whether he asked me whether I, or he asked me whether he, or whatever subject you want to use. What's next?
Verb.
Let's cross the things we used.
Whether I, verb بعدها, whether I was.
Right. Yes. So we need a verb. He asked me whether I was available, or he asked me whether, whatever verb. Correct. All right, now let's move to yes/no questions. So he asked me if, and we can say
لكن هنا جيرة whether وجي حتى question word.
he asked me how.
He asked مثلا what my last acting job had been.
You're right. Yes. The if and whether we only use them with the yes/no questions, right? Can you see them? I think we only did it with the yes/no questions. Yeah, when he said if here, number one, if I was working, and whether I was available, and if I had any, because if you go back to the original questions of Max, these are yes/no questions.
Yeah.
Are you working at the moment? Are you available next week? Do you have any working, any acting work in the next? Yeah. صح. You're right now. So we can only use whether and if we're doing a yes/no questions. So whether and if. All right. So this means we need to remove whether from here and put it in the bottom. So if or whether. And at the top, we need a question word. All right. And what's the other reporting verb in questions?
In questions.
Yeah, because remember in sentences, we have tell and say. But here we have ask and?
Wanted.
Wanted to know. Correct. So he wanted to know, or she wanted to know if or whether.
Subject.
Yes.
Subject.
Whether I was available, for example. All right. Okay. Now let's take a quick look at the summary. Let's see if there are any tips worth mentioning here before we go to the listening and exercise. Okay, so this is the sentence part. We finished this, the question part. Reported speech questions. So we use reported questions to tell what another person asked us, blah, blah, blah. He asked if I had any acting work. He asked if and whether for yes, no questions. Okay, so we got that right. We sometimes use an object with ask, so it's optional. Okay, so this is the part we did. He asked me what I had done before. And he asked me whether I had a job in acting before. We wanted to know where I studied. So this is WH question. He asked me if I was working at the moment. This is a yes, no question. Word order in reported question is the same as in positive sentences. I asked her where her brother was. I asked her where was her brother. Yeah, okay, I think this is the only tip here which is kind of new. Do you see this? This is the same word order as positive sentences, right? So this means when we actually report a question, we change the order as if it was a positive sentence, even though it's a question, but because of the reporting thing we did, or because of reporting it, it's not in the question order anymore. So it's not where was he, it's where he was, if he was available, or if he was, free, or whatever it is. Brain, do you get the idea of this point?
يعني get a report توا هي قبل ريبورت سبيتش عادي توا ريبورت WH questions.
بالضبط، قبل كنا نديروا للسنتنس كنا نديروا لهم في ريبورت. مرة هذه السؤال نفسه نديروا له ريبورت. يعني لو نبغى نحاولوا نردوه هذا السؤال لأصله, it will be like this. He wanted to know where I'd studied acting. معناه السؤال الأصلي اللي سأله لها, he said, where did you study acting? This was the original question. This is what Max asked Eva. But now Eva is reporting what Max asked her. She's reporting it to her boyfriend. She's just telling him about the job interview. So her boyfriend asked her, okay, Eva, what happened? How did the job interview go? So she said, he wanted to know where I'd studied acting. Do you get the idea? So you just report the question. هذه الفكرة في درس اليوم. Reporting questions. That's it. Okay, it will be a little clearer with a few exercises. You'll get the hang of it. All right, so let's go back. Let me show you the exercises. You'll see what I mean here. Let's skip the listening. Weak form, strong form. Look at these real questions. All right, so this is an exercise. Now here you're going to use reported speech, Ibrahim, to change the questions from direct questions to reported questions. All right, so take a look at number 1. It's already answered, so it can help us here. So here the worker or the interviewee, she asked the interviewer, can my rabbit come to work with me? So if you want to change it to reported speech, how does it change, Ibrahim? Can you read it?
If her rabbit would come to work. She asked if her rabbit would come to her to work with her.
Yeah, because now the person who did the interview هذا طبعا بيعاود للمانجر متاعه شنو صار. Do you get the idea? So he's just reporting the question. بيعاود الquestion. All right, do you get the idea? All right, now I'd like you to do the same thing with the second question. What is your star sign?
أنا.
Okay, you do it now. So yeah, go ahead.
She asked him.
What's his star sign?
Star sign. What's your star sign? Asked him what was her star sign.
Who asked who? The lady asked the man, or the man?
She asked him what was his star sign.
What
was
mm-hmm.
his star sign.
All right. Star sign is like your zodiac, البرج.
Yeah. Zodiac, yeah.
All right, now there's a little change we need to do. Remember the tip we saw in the summary, Naha? The one about saying that in reported questions, we have to use the same order as positive sentences, بخصوص الverb.
He asked him.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to know. She wanted to know. مفروض. لكن هو then he asked him.
لا. She asked him is okay, no problem there. حتى what صح مكانها. اللي بعدها. I'm talking about what's next. Take a look at exercise.
What his star sign was.
Yes, this is the little trick here. What his star sign was. You get the idea? And there's no need for a question. يعني معاش question here. انت لما بدي له report خلاص حولتيه لجملة positive sentence when you report it. It's not a question anymore. Ibrahim, are you with us? Yeah, so there's a little خطفت صار هنا. Because it's when you report a question, you don't report it as a question, you report it as a sentence. Try to do this with number 3 here.
ماشي في النهاية verb ولا
هو هذا الverb was is the verb. في النهاية verb صح زي ما أنت قلت. Correct? And was is the verb. Do you get the idea?
يعني.
Okay, try to do number 3. It'll be a little clearer.
It's a problem if I'm angry most of the time.
Is it? So it's a yes no question.
He asked him. He asked him if
صح.
شنو القانون بعده؟
If
or whatever
or whether
subject. If
what's the subject
being
here?
His ولا him.
We already used his and him, but in the question
him شوية بس.
Can you see the rule in front of you? أنت فاتح PDF.
It was.
Yeah, okay, follow the rule. You didn't مازال أنت ما استعملتش السبجكت مازال. أرجع للquestion نفسها. Is it a problem if I'm angry all the time? Where's the subject في السؤال الأصلي? Is it a problem? خلينا في direct question تو قبل ما نديروا له report. Where's the subject here in number 3? Is it a problem?
Angry ولا?
No, angry is an adjective. The subject is it. Is it a problem?
Okay.
معناها بنعاودوا نفس السبجكت بحطه زي ما هو, right? If it
is a problem.
صح, لكن is شو بتولي؟ لازم تديرها في was. If it was a problem, okay, completed. If هو السبجكت الثاني عندك.
اللي was be ولا
باي قبل ما تصح
I was angry.
لكن معاش انت بتدوي عليه هو توا. if الاي شو بتولي؟
was.
خلينا في الاي قبل ما تمشي للverb to be. He asked him. So there are 2 men in the conversation. He, right?
تمام.
Okay, now change the verb to be, change it to the past. I'm angry. Where's the...
If he was angry.
Right. And the rest just repeat it as it is. If he was angry most of the time. You get what happened here. يعني الموظف نفسه الجديد اللي جاي سأل المدير قال له is it a problem if I'm angry most of the time؟ انت فهمت شو صار ولا؟ فهذا المدير بيعاود الكلام لحد تاني في ال HR or whatever.
ايه.
ولا حنيتهم نقتبس الموضوع. So he asked him, we are going to report his question. He asked him if it was a problem if he was angry most of the time. Do you get the idea?
ايه.
All right. Okay, now can you do number 4?
He asked her, would the company pay to look after his horse?
That's it. He asked her, do we use whether or with or if here?
مفروض whether here.
Yes. Or if.
Whether the company would pay.
Yes, excellent. That's it. صح. Whether the company would pay. Because it's a yes/no question with whether the company would. It's becoming a little, this exercise is a bit like mathematics in a way.
هي كلها جراماتيكية في الأول تركبت.
فيها لقطة صح. Whether the company would pay to look after the horse. The horse. His horse, of course. Look after his. دب شوية خيالية بس لازم تتخيل الموقف. All right, that's correct now. Yes, he asked her whether the company would look after his horse. All right. Sorry. Would pay. Would pay. نسينا الverb صح. Would pay to look after his horse. صح. All right, Ibrahim, give this a try. Number 5.
كانت تنزل شوي.
Yeah. Okay, let me remove the previous answers.
Do I have to wear a suit for the next interview? He wanted to know.
Okay.
If he could.
علاش could? وين جبتها could؟
ما مش عارف. قريت كان حتى لو مش موجود.
Okay, if he. طبعا في ال reported questions إبراهيم ما عندناش auxiliaries. لا do, لا does, لا did بيختفوا. أنا لو وحى بكل خش في اللي بعدها طول.
If he have to wear.
كيف بتغيرها have؟
If he had to wear.
صح. If he had to wear. Okay.
A suit for the following interview.
Yeah, a suit for the following or for the next or the following interview. All right, that's correct. All right, what about number 6 now?
He wanted to know which job he was applying for.
Right. He wanted to know which job he was applying for. Number 7, Ibrahim, let's check number 7.
He asked him if he has been
past غير past.
have been
How do you change have to the past?
Has.
You did it in number 5. نفس اللي درتها in number 5.
Had.
Correct.
If he had been in the prison.
Prison 2. All right. Okay, number 8.
Why am I here? She wanted to know. She wanted to know why she was here.
Yes. I think each time it's not all of them have images. I mean pictures. Some of them do, some of them don't.
Okay.
Okay, number 9, Ibrahim.
Why aren't you in a more interesting business? She asked him. She asked them why.
Yes. Subject.
Aren't.
Subject.
Them.
Them is an object. In the question. فوت هذيك اللي بديت بها أشوف الquestion نفسها. شنو السبجكت في الquestion. وين الفاعل في الquestion. Read it from the beginning. Why
aren't you in a more interesting business?
Yeah, where's the subject here?
You.
Yes. صح.
Okay.
So how do you change it when? Why? Subject هي الأولى ترى قبل الverb. Wasn't صح. لكن لازم بدي مش wasn't هي.
You.
واليو كيف بتولي معش يو؟
إيه.
يعني كأنك بالعربي بتقول هي سألتهم يعني تم نديرها لك بالعربي باهي. Why aren't you in a more interesting business؟ باهي. فأنت لما بتنقل الخبر بتقول هي سألتهم علاش هم ما يخدموش في خدمة أحسن من هيك. علاش هم ما يخدموش في خدمة تانية أو ما يخدموش في خدمة ممتعة. علاش هم ما يخدموش. هي سألتهم علاش هم ما يخدموش. Do you get the idea?
Okay. يوجد زي ما هو ولا؟
لا يقعد زي ما هو كيف بيقعد؟ اليو للمتكلم المباشر انك انت تتكلم في شخص ثاني.
ايه.
انت مش هتقدر تقول يو، انت بتنقل اللي صار الحدث بين زوز بالغايب بتدوي عليهم. يعني زي تخيل why aren't you in a more interesting business. تخيل انت مدير وجاتك واحدة جديدة مدير لها انترفيو وقلت لك الكلام هذا. Why aren't you in a more interesting business. فانا ننقل why aren't you ننقل الكلام هذا ما كنتش انت بروحك.
كان بترجمها بالعربي تتلخبط اكثر. خاطر احنا شو نقولوا قالت لي علاش انت ما تخدمش في خدمه احسن. يعني انت قاعده انت
قالت لي هو احنا ننقل الفاء بالعربي زي ما هي. لماذا انت مش نفس الشيء.
وخلاص هي confusing ترجمها.
No.
يعني انت لما تلقى يو ديها هي ولا شي ديها ضمير غائب.
لكن هنا لأن قالك شي ask them
تحول ضمير غائب.
هي ضمير غائب.
الماضي يولي ماضي وهذا هو.
لا بالضبط، لكن هنا لأنها جمع اليو والواضح أنها جمع من them she asked them. فاليو ما هياش هي ولا شيء في الحالات لازم جمعية. معناها بتقول she asked them why they
هم ضمير الغائب يعني.
غائب بالضبط. Okay, now do the verb.
not in a more interesting. Weren't.
aren't بتولي في weren't صح ولا؟
إيه.
She asked them why they weren't باقي زي ما هي in a more interesting job. Do you get the idea? She asked them why they weren't in a more interesting job. All right, last one now.
Can I come back when I find my glasses? Okay. She wanted to know if she could come back when she found her glasses.
That's it. When she...
الحمد لله ما يجيش في الامتحانات هو الريبورتد سويش البايخ.
But at the end of this course you'll find it in the exam. تخافيش بيجيك. Yeah. But
I'm a new student now by mentioning this.
Yeah, because I was checking the final exam because the level they finished their exams and I just marked them I think yesterday. So elementary.
You have to give us a time period.
Yeah, I'll give you a time. You can start from now actually.
I'm stuck in unit 5. I'm still stuck in unit 5.
Maybe you're taking too much time and you're being a little too perfectionist maybe.
But you have to memorize some phrases.
You think?
For example, يعني لما احنا خدينا مثلا نتاع كيف how softening the opinions the negative opinions.
Yeah.
يعني هذا ما تحفظهم تستعملهم تلقاهم يجوا بروحهم هيك. علاش أنا ما نقدرش نتكلم مع إن هذا كله easy peasy.
Yeah, interesting point. Yeah. Maybe because you memorize too much, I think, and maybe you didn't have a chance to activate the language. I think. Yeah, you don't like forums and blogs and meeting people and that kind of stuff. No. I think you might have to, meet people online. If you have any shared hobby or something, that might help because you get to talk to them in English. That might help, I think. Okay. Brahim. I can feel your confusion from here, but it's completely normal. Okay, don't worry about this.
لا ما أمور طيبة.
Yeah, just all you need to do is just take a look again at the rule. It will become clear. زي ما صار لنا في بتاع السنتنسز نفكر فيهم بتوع حلاتهم بكري يكونوا صح بتاع البوزيتيف اللي درناهم قبل. نفس الفكرة غير هنا في شوية تيبس إضافيات كلهم التيبس تلقاهم هنا. أهم تيب اللي هي هذه لولا بتاع الدو الأوكسيلريز ما عندكش مش هتستعملهم بكل لا دو لا ديد لا داز باين مش هيخشوا هذه حاجة. لو yes no question هتستعمل if whether باين ومش هتستعمل ال question word. لو ال question عادي WH أكيد هتستعمل ال question word هتحطها ال question word هنا. So he asked me what I liked. طبعا السؤال الأصلي بيكون what do you like إبراهيم what do you like هذا السؤال الأصلي. مثلا أسألني سؤال هذا أنت أسأله لي قولي what do you like
كيف؟
قولي just tell me what do you like.
ماشي أي شيء.
لا أنت
driving ولا هو؟
no أنت أسألني سؤال just repeat the question.
what do you like؟
أنيتهم
then repeat the question ولا نسأل ال question.
لا كويس زي ما أنت درتك what do you like أنت سألتني أنيتهم نعاود سؤالك هو مدير له report لنوها شو بنقولها إبراهيم asked me or Ibrahim wanted to know what I liked. ما عشان نقول he wanted to know what I liked لأن بنحولها للpast. He wanted to know what I liked. Do you get the idea? خلينا نعود لها سؤالك.
عليكم.
السلام. Ask me any other question, Ibrahim. Yes, no, بالوات, بالواي, بالوير, أي حاجة اسمي أي حاجة. وأنا بنعودها لنا.
Okay. When are the exams?
When is the exam, or when are the exams? أنتم بنعاودناها بنقول Ibrahim asked me when the exams are. When the exams he asked me when the exams were, because he said when are the exams. He asked me when the exams were. Do you get the idea? It sounds a little weird, but when you report the question لازم بتحط السبجect قبل الفعل. He asked me when the exams were.
Which page are you in?
No, we're just doing a random. This is page 88. I'm just showing him the rule, because with questions, reporting questions, there are a few additions بالنسبة للمقارنة بينهم بين الsentences. والadditions هنا أغلب صعوبة اللي هي reporting questions قصة الword order هو اللي ملخبط الموضوع. الباقي نفس الفكرة، لكن إضافة الموضوع هذا الword order متاعهم هو اللي ممكن ملخبط يعني. I also advise you, Ibrahim, to check the summary and check unit 11B in your workbook. Just jump to 11B. فوت اللي قبله كلها ودير طلع على الاكسرسايزز حتوضح لك الصوره شويه، وقعد تطبق القاعده زي ما تقول تبعها تتبيع عمياني. فهمت؟ هيك زايد هيك ديرها مره اثنين ثلاثه تبدا تحسها a little more natural, a little more less awkward. كل ما تكررها مره اثنين ثلاثه تبدا تبان لك less and less awkward لين تاخذ عليها. All right, now so we finished this part. Let's check number 7 here. We have a listening exercise. It says Max phones Eva later that day. She's got the job. Okay, so this is good news for Eva. She's got the job. Listen and answer the questions. Let me check number 8. Okay. So let's listen to this track.
Hello?
Hello, is that Eva West?
Yes, it is.
This is Max Foster from On the Box.
Oh, yes, hi.
Good news. You've got the job.
Really? Oh, that's wonderful, thank you.
No problem. Can you come to a meeting on Monday?
Yes, of course. What time?
Be at our offices at 10. The director and all the other actors will be here too.
Yes, of course.
Oh, and one more thing. Don't accept any more work. This is a full-time job and you'll be busy for the next 3 months at least.
No, of course not. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye.
Wow! I've got the job!
Congratulations! That's brilliant!
Yes, I can't believe it. A TV series, and I'm the main character.
So what did he say?
Well, he asked me to come to a meeting on Monday. He wants me to meet the director and the other actors.
That's great.
Yes, he told me to be at their offices at 10.
Excellent. Did he say anything else?
Yes, he told me not to accept any more work. This is going to last 3 months at least.
Fantastic. So, what's your character's name again?
Kat. I don't know much about her yet, but it sounds like a really challenging part. Apparently, she's an undercover cop.
All right, so let's answer these questions, and if you need to listen again, we'll do that. So, where does she have to go on Monday?
الأوفيس ولا؟
Had to come to meeting.
No, okay, she has to come to a meeting, or she has to go to an office, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
And what time does she have to be there?
10 o'clock.
No.
Okay.
10.
Yeah, she has to be there at 10 o'clock. Who's she going to meet?
The director
The
and
producer and the other actors.
Mm-hmm. And how long is the job going to last?
3 months.
3 months or more.
Yeah.
At least.
All right. Okay. Okay, that's correct. Now it says here, look at these sentences, which is a request and which are imperatives. So the focus is here now. We moved from positive sentences to questions to requests and imperatives. So we have these 3 examples. Let me box them. I want you to tell me which one is a request and which 2 are imperatives. What do you think, Brian? Which one from these 3 is a request?
Imperatives.
Imperative is an order.
Request, can you come to a meeting on Monday?
Okay.
Imperatives, الأخيرة تزوز.
Yeah. All right. Correct. Yeah. So the first one is a request. It's sort of asking, but the last 2 are sort of do this. Do you get the idea?
Yeah.
It's like an order. So this is an imperative. All right. Nice. Now in part B, let's check part B. It says, look at how Eva reported what Max said, then complete the rules with imperatives and requests. So now Eva is going to report what Max just told her on the phone, okay? So, okay, Noha, can you read the 3 blue examples here? So she's reporting to her boyfriend now.
He asked me to come to meeting on Monday. He told me to be at their office at 10. He told me to not to accept any more work.
Okay, all right. So the first one, of course, is the request, right? And the last 2 are the imperatives, just like above. So can you complete the rules here, Noah? The rules below.
To report, we use asked object, not infinitive with اللي هو.
So is this for imperatives or is this for requests?
Asked me your object to come. Requested. The request.
Yes, that's right. This is the form or the format of requests, right? The next one.
Imperative.
Correct.
Imperative.
Yeah.
Imperative.
The report infinitives. Right. That's correct. Imperative. Sorry, I wrote infinitives.
Imperative.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take a quick look at the summary here, and let's see if there's something worth mentioning. Okay, so here, this is the whole thing, nothing additional. To report requests. Kind of request, but what he asked me, right? So this is a request. He asked me to come. And he told me to be at the offices, or he told me not to accept. This is an order. And this is actually, they use this a lot. They especially in comedy, they sometimes say, are you asking me or are you telling me? You might, I don't know if you've heard this expression on the movies, Brian. Are you asking me or are you telling me? Because there's a big difference.
It's not, I've heard it before,
Yeah, it's an expression. So asking is a completely different thing from telling. Asking, you're asking. It's a request, but telling is not asking. Telling is an order, it's an imperative. All right, now, so we have a mix here of imperatives and requests. So let's start with the first one. Could you give me a lift tomorrow? Brian, do you think this is an imperative or do you think this is a request, number 1? Could you give me a lift tomorrow?
Request.
Yes. And when you report it, it will be she asked him to give her a lift tomorrow. Now, this is the conversation, of course, between Eva and Joe. All right. Now, number 2. Okay, now you can do number 2.
Call me at lunch time. Is it she or he?
She. All of this is Eva talking to.
She told. She told me. She told me.
Is it me?
She told him.
Yeah, she's talking to her boyfriend. Exactly. She told him.
She told him. She told him to call her at lunchtime.
That's it. Right. All right. Now, what about number 3? Brian. First of all,
pick me up after the meeting.
Yeah.
The request.
Okay. Okay. So, how do we?
She asked him.
Good.
To pick her up after the meeting.
Okay. But I think there's another way, right? If he could. Or is it that correct? He asked him. You're right, yes. That's correct, yeah. Infinitive. To pick. She asked him to pick her up. Where's up? Okay, the rest is the same. She asked him to pick her up after the meeting. صح. Okay, number 4. No.
She told him not to worry about her.
Yes. It's an imperative. She told him not to worry about her. Brian, number 5.
Can you book a table at our favorite restaurant? She asked him to book a table at their favorite restaurant.
I think that's right. She asked him to book a table at what? At
their favorite restaurant.
Yes. At their favorite restaurant. That's it. Okay. And the last one now. Sorry, number 6 now.
She told him not to tell anyone about the job yet.
Yes. Another imperative. She told him not to tell anybody about the job yet. Okay, last one, number 7, Ibrahim.
Do you think you could help me learn my lines?
How do we report this?
She asked him to help her to remember the lines, her lines.
Why remember? Use the same verb.
To learn.
Yes. So she asked him to help her learn, learn whose lines?
Her lines.
Yes. Her lines. That's it. Right. Very nice. Okay. So you can see that requests and imperatives are sort of easier than questions, right?
Yeah.
ما فيهاش القلبة ذيك اللي في النص بتاع if he could تعرف شنو. You just jump to the infinitive directly. It's kind of easier. All right. Okay. So I think this is our last part. Let's take a look. So choose a partner, but don't work with blah, blah. Write 6 questions. And you don't know the answers often. All right. Okay. So here it's back to questions now. Now, okay. So let's do it like last time. So the first 3, Naha, you can ask Ibrahim these questions. Ibrahim will report them to me. Then Ibrahim can ask these questions, ask you, and you can report them to me. All right, so go ahead now. You can ask him these questions.
What are you doing now?
Okay.
نعود السؤال.
Yeah, you reported to me.
She asked me what totally fast. What I was
صح.
doing
صح.
at that moment.
Very nice. I like at the moment better than now for reporting. I think it's a little better, right? She asked me what I was doing at the moment. Okay, good, nice. Very good, Brian. Okay, number 2, Noha.
How often do you read?
She asked me how often
do طبعا من ناحية زي ما اتفقنا تخشش في الريبورت. do لازم تسوحها.
How often
اليو شو بتحطها انت تدري على روحك ترى.
ايه.
So she asked me how often. في الحوار ما فيش لا انت وهي معناها
ايه
معناها بتدري على روحك ولا. She asked me how often. Subject. Think of subjects.
ايه ما نسيها تو انا هذه.
I بتدري على روحك ولا. How often I.
ايه.
She asked me how often. بتحولها للpast.
I read.
That's it. She asked me how often I read. بتحولها للpast بس. All right. Okay. Last one. No, you can ask this question.
When did you last holiday?
When did you last?
Holiday.
Holiday is not a verb, I think. You have to use a verb with it.
Okay. When did you last?
If you want to keep holiday, it's okay. Just use have. When did you last have a holiday?
Yeah.
That's fine.
When did you last have a holiday?
She asked it when I had my holiday.
She asked me when she asked me when I last had a holiday. I think that's right now. She asked me when I last had a holiday. When I had she asked me when I last had. I don't think we can keep last in the sentence. She asked me when I had a holiday.
Holiday.
Sorry?
My last holiday.
She asked me when was my, do we use was? No, we have to use had. Have. When I had, صح. She asked me when I had my last holiday. Right?
Yeah.
All right, Ibrahim, you can ask Noha.
My last holiday was.
When my last holiday was. Yeah. Maybe this is better. She asked me when my last holiday was. When was my last holiday? Yeah, but that's if the question was when was your last holiday, right? Let's choose maybe an easier thing than have. Let's say when did you last exercise, for example. In this example, how would you answer it, Brian? When did you last exercise? How would you report this? You would say she asked me.
شنو السؤال مرة ثانية؟
When did you last exercise?
She asked me when ما فيش when I
when I, after that, what do we use in the rule? Let's go back to the rule. She asked me. So you're doing this part, Brian. Let me box it. So she asked.
تمام.
Asked me when. What's the subject? You.
You.
اللي هو I. أنت بتدعي روحك. When
إيه.
I. تحط الverb. طب تحولها للpast. كان did exercise. أنت بتحولها للpast perfect. So it'll be. When I had exercised.
Had exercised.
Yeah, when I had exercised last. No, ما تمشيش. When I had last exercise. I don't think last نقدر نخشها. It sounds weird. When I had exercise. When I had last exercise. I don't know how to put it, to be honest. She asked me when I had exercised last. She asked me when was the last time I had exercised. Maybe it's better. But مش عارف كيف بنخششها last. ما عرفتش. Anyways. All right. Now the last 3 questions here, Brian. You can ask not these questions and she will report them back to me. When I exercised last. When I had exercised last. Do you usually?
إيه.
نفسي السمحة كلها جتني.
Yeah, you have 2 yes no questions. Okay, Ibrahim, don't overthink it. Ask her anything. Do you usually any verb?
Cook for your family.
Okay.
He asked me if I usually no. He asked me whether I usually cooked to my family.
Okay. Good.
Have you ever
any verb?
Slept for a long time?
He asked me if I had ever slept for a long time.
Yes. Good. All right, the last question, Brian.
Can you speak Spanish?
He asked me whether I could speak Spanish.
Nice. All right, correct. Okay, you can see this lesson is a little tricky. I don't want to say hard. Yeah, exactly. It's a little too mathematical. It's too. فكرني بيامات الجبر والهندسة. أنا ما كنتش أحبهم هالجبرات. So it's almost the same. You know, you just need to put this, put that, put this, put that. It's a little annoying, but I think it needs a review. To be honest, you really need to check this tonight. أحسن. لأن كان بتنسى الحكاية بتهرب تتشفر بعدها. Maybe because now I think already studied this before. At least she's more familiar. But for you, Ibrahim, it's the first time. Maybe a little review would help you, and you'll على الأقل تثبت زي ما صار لك في الأول. بداية أمورك طيبة فيه اللي قبله. اللي هو أنت على positive sentences. كلها جاوبتها صح اليوم. فيعني مراجعة سريعة خفيفة دير طلع على السمري at the end of the book. وشوف الرولز من تاء مرة تانية. ممكن حتى اكتبهم الرولز بس أنت اقعد نظام copy paste تبع الرول وخلاص في الورك بوك فهمت دير زوز exercises واحدة زوز الأمور تمشي nice and smooth.
Okay.
All right, so that's all for tonight. Thanks for your time and I'll see you in our next lesson, okay?
Okay.
تمام.
All right then, good night, bye bye.
حاجة غدوة قلنا أنت نتلاقوا؟
I don't know, but لازم حيكون قبل الواحد. Maybe 9 o'clock. 9 is too early. Maybe 11. Can you be there? 10. Tomorrow, you know, the traffic is crazy on Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. I'll send you a letter and send you a message and tell you, okay?
Okay.
All right then, okay. So we'll talk about that right now.
تمام.
Okay, so
بخير.
just على خير. Good night. Bye bye.
السلام.
Nice to know.